Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am very happy to present to you today a friend, a colleague, an ambassador for Amplify Clearwater. And we met actually through Amplify Clearwater. So I'm very, very happy to introduce you today to Woody Helfand, who is the president of Patrice and Associates. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much, Sharon. It's a pleasure to be here with you once again. I really enjoy seeing you. I wish it was not virtual, but I understand in today's marketplace, sometimes this is the best way to communicate. So thank you for having me on your show. And I'm really honored because you whisper to doctors and I'm a doctor. So I feel incredibly flattered that you have me here.
Well, really and truly, I only bring the people that I think are really doing well in the community and have a really big focus on helping others. And that would certainly be you. So I want to just tell everybody why I decided to bring you on, because I have a lot of people, just so you know, Woody, that are not doctors that come on the Doctor Whisperer, because when I started this show, I think about healers, and healers come in many different forms. I believe I am a healer of sorts when it comes to speaking about mental health because of the book that I wrote and my own issues that I've gone through in my life when I was in my late teens, early 20s. And now being a businesswoman and running business and having the great pleasure of working in the medical industry with a lot of physicians, I know that there are many more healers out there than MDs. And what Woody does is near and dear to my heart. So anybody that knows me knows how I feel about the importance of hiring and the importance of getting the right people on your team to make your business the success it's meant to be. So Woody and I certainly agree on many things when it comes to you are who your team is and the people that surround you. So before you tell everybody about that beautiful pink blazer, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about who you are and what you do?
My pleasure and my honor. Um, the president of Patrice and Associates is actually a rather great title. I wish I was the president of the entire franchise organization, but I'm actually the president and business owner of Patrice and Associates in our marketplace. So
Ooh, sorry.
that's okay. That's all right, because I like that. That put me right back in my corporate world for a minute there. I had my corporate hat on all of a sudden, from back when I was an executive. But essentially what we do is to work with top tier clientele. Patrice started out 27 years ago, so we're a young company. We're not as big as the Corn Ferries and the Heidrick Struggles and all those folks. We're in the next tier beneath them in terms of our size, yet we have over 200 franchises that stretch across the United States, as well as recruiters that work on our behalf. So we have very large resources nationwide that enable us to fill positions for clientele in a very rapid fashion. In our market, we would be working directly with our business owners who are seeing this today in any category. When the company originally initiated itself, it had a primary focus of hospitality, and we still remain one of the top, if not the top #1 hospitality recruiter in the country. But what happened was Patrice and Associates started offering franchise opportunities. And suddenly a whole cadre of people like me, business people, former executives and entrepreneurs like myself, signed up. And we wanted a whole lot more than hospitality. I'm certified to work with all types of companies in all levels. I could place CEOs all the way down to somebody earning $25,000 a year for any organization. So this is what we do. What we do is we work with client-based companies. And once we do a deep dive into that company and understand their specific needs, their selection criteria, we'll even help them develop their selection criteria. But we need to understand their culture and exactly what characteristics, what dimensions, if you will, what culture fit, all of those types of ideas and criteria that are extraordinarily important to making certain that the person you interview has a high propensity to be hired off of her or his second or third interview, no matter, whatever your company process is. But that's how we work. We work directly with clients. We help companies find the very best candidates. We only interview top level A+ candidates. And I and my wife, who's my business partner, we personally vet every single candidate. So they first have to pass our screen. They have to pass the company screen, and then they have to pass my screen. And we get into, helping them prepare for their interviews. So we're helping the candidate on the candidate side get ready for the client, but the client is the person who's hired us to go fill their positions.
Sure.
So that, in a nutshell, is how we work. And we're very excited about the activities that we're seeing going on in the Tampa Bay region right now. We are the fastest growing area in the state of Florida right now in terms of job growth. Although we still have a long way to go, it's nice to have that kind of encouraging data and to see businesses starting to plan like they are right now. This is a perfect time to be
certainly a different kind of time, right? But
very big.
For everybody that has known the Dr. Whisperer brand over the years, everybody knows my feelings about recruiting. So Woody, I have said this many, many times in interviews and videos that I've done. I just don't love recruiting. Now, the reason I say this is because I know how much work goes into getting the best of the best. And what I find the most frustrating when I go in to help medical practices especially is that they have a lot of turnover. And one of the reasons, as you know, there's usually turnover is because it's all about who is doing the hiring. So a lot of times in management, somebody gets selected to be the person that does the hiring, but they might not have the background and what it takes to actually bring on the level of professional that is required for that business. So I gave up recruiting myself in the medical industry a few years ago, unless it's for a doctor or a nurse practitioner. Otherwise, it's just almost too difficult to find the types of people that high-level professionals are looking for. So I've always said, you are way better served to bring on a recruiting firm, an executive recruiting firm that the best thing is that you understand hospitality, in my opinion, because I think that separates you guys from everybody, because who isn't looking for really just friendly, hospitable people to join their companies?
That's a great question and a great point. And I'm really glad you raised the topic because it's something that is very important for the audience to understand. Anybody who's a business owner who's listening, one of the key things that makes us very different from a lot of other recruiting companies is that we do not ever pull jobs from job boards. We only cold call. I do the calling, my partner does the calling. We dial people who are not posting their jobs anywhere. In fact, they might not even be looking, but they get a call from a recruiter, and that's a very uplifting call. Believe me, I've had a lot of them over my career. And when a recruiter calls and says, listen, if you're a man who keeps your options open, we have an opportunity that I think you might want to look at. Even if I wasn't interested, it was enough to compel me to listen. And that's how we go about identifying candidates. We take people who are actively employed and successful and run them through the gauntlet, if you will. It's not an easy gauntlet to go through in terms of our screening process, but we want to make sure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed, and that this person actually has legitimate, detail and statistics to back up their claims of performance and performance criteria, so that we can present only the best, the very best of the best to our clients. And generally, we don't present more than 3 at a time. And likely, it's the first one they look at that gets the position. Because we're going after employed people.
Yes.
Why?
Well, I love the opportunity to have true professionals come in and take care of this, because I know that anybody that is watching or listening that is a business owner, an entrepreneur, management, they know that the biggest issue that goes on within the workplace is the humans. Right, Woody?
There is no question about it. And I think that anyone who has leadership experience and successful leadership experience recognize the answer is it's about the people.
Totally,
The
100%.
It's what you reflect as a company is based on whom you hire. So it's incredibly important to make sure that you're hiring the very best and that you're not making decisions that are maybe not the exact decision tree that you should be using. And that's where we come to be of extraordinary value to our clients. I shared our intake process with you, so you recognize that it's a very, very deeply involved intake process with our clientele to help them feel comfortable. And we coach them also. I mean, we'll help them. We'll sit with an executive committee if somebody's looking for a CEO or somebody's looking for a CFO or somebody's looking for a director level in a large company. Doesn't matter. We'll sit there and meet with a group. If there's a group of executives or a team or a board that want to discuss this position and the evolution of the position, we're there. I mean, we're ready to go. So
well,
that
you brought up a great point, Woody, about whoever is a part of your team is a representation of who you are and who your company is. And I really, truly do not think that enough business owners today take that into consideration. I mean, just the conversation I had at lunch with all my female entrepreneur friends, we were talking about how we called this office and we really tried to, get an appointment, and here we are. We want to pay cash to somebody and they're not calling us back. Like every little piece that goes on inside of your organization starts and ends with the humans. You have had the great pleasure, Woody, of meeting my employee, Alyssa, and I would assume that you think that she's wonderful, because she is. I spent a lot of time with her, and the same with Anish, who joins me remotely that we work with. But I spend a lot of time vetting and making sure that these are not just have this great, objective line in their resume, but they are really like good human beings, that they're good people. And you need a level of emotional intelligence and self-awareness to be able to isolate those candidates for the business that you're working with. Right, Woody?
No, that's spot on, Sharon. I had no editorial comment to that because it's so accurately said. I don't need to repeat your words. I couldn't agree with you more. It's all about how you hire and how you hire, and this is what I know is going on right now. There are a lot of companies that are planning for 2021 in this quarter. And this is the time to be thinking about, hey, do we really need the services of somebody who can help us evolve? We know there are a lot of companies that are actually right now considering who to keep on furlough, who to let go, and whether or not they're going to top grade their staff or not, or upgrade, get better, get more talented people, because I will tell you, the talent pool is gushing with great people right now.
Yeah, so true. It's so true. We just talked about one before I hit record today. So, all right. Well, Woody, nobody has a greater passion for making sure that you have a great team. And I have not brought one in all 101 episodes of this show. I have yet to bring on a recruiting company, which actually is kind of strange because that's all I want to do is farm that business out to you. Because it really is, I know that you have to have the right people bringing on the right people for our business. So I can't stress enough how important I feel like it is. And I know that Patrice and Associates and you and Kathy do great work for your clients. So I want to bring up one more point about business, and then I want to talk a little bit about that pink blazer you're wearing.
Well, I want to share, good. I'm listening.
Good. So I was blessed enough to spend a weekend at the Ritz Carlton in Naples. Now, why I bring this up?
I know that property.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It is beautiful. It's got a beautiful beach. I love how they set the whole property up. It's very nice.
So beautiful. So I designed a course online called Hospitality and Healthcare, and I based the entire thing on how the Ritz Carlton runs business. Because if you want to talk about a place,
absolutely,
right, great people, it is the Ritz Carlton. from the time we pulled into the gate and they were taking our license information, the woman at the gate was so personable. And it was just the start of how our entire weekend was going to run. So everybody that checked us in, everybody that brought our bags up, it was just, I mean, what a breath of fresh air to feel like you're in a place where they actually spend a lot of time on the people that work there. And that's really how I feel about bringing on Patrice and Associates, somebody that's going to give you the level of experience that a Ritz Carlton would offer to executives. So that's just my little plug for you, Woody, okay?
That's a heck of a plug, and I want to thank you for that. And I want to plug back. First of all, I want to express how happy we are to be working with you and be one of your clients. It is an honor and a privilege, and you guys are already doing stuff that's amazing, and I love it. So folks need to know, if you want to get into social media, this lady is incredible, and her company is incredible. Aside from that, I wanted to just share with you, I couldn't agree more with your comments, but there's an offer going on right now that the audience should know about.
Yeah, let's tell them. Let's
Well,
break the news.
First of all, I need to confirm a couple of things. The Doc Whisperer goes everywhere. Is that correct?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. So let me just say that Patrice and Associates as a company, and I'm speaking from my entity, but all of us are offering the same service. If you're local, our territory that we own runs from Port Richey all the way down to Clearwater Beach and into Bel Air Beach and all the way over everything in between on 19, all the way to the Gulf, and then everything through Oldsmar. So it's a lot of population and business densities that we look at, and we have a tremendous amount of turf to work. And there's excellent opportunity right here. However, we are also nationwide. So if I get referred from somebody from this show who's doesn't have a Patrice and Associates in their local market, and they would like to work with us, I'm allowed to do that because they reached out to me. And that's makes it okay. If I have a friend who knows somebody in Texas that needs somebody and they want me to come do the recruiting, as long as I'm referred, I can handle that business. So I want to share that message first so folks understand you're dealing with a nationwide company. And then I want to share with you what our first offer was and is still today. If you have any furloughed employees or terminated employees that need the assistance of a coach, a career coach that will help them get their resume up to speed, up to snuff, and do all of this service, including coaching them on what to say, what not to say, how to dress, all the things that are really important, regardless of what level they're at. We coach them, and it helps them feel confident. If nothing else, it gives them hope, which is a big part of why I have this jacket on today. And it's also a big part of why we chose Patrice and Associates, because we're all about hope. We're all about caring for people. All we want to do is help people. And this model is built to help companies get their dream employees and employees get their dream job. And we don't get compensation until that hiring takes place. So that's how it should be. We do good. And this offer that we're making right now is to anybody in your audience who wants help and needs to have their resume rewritten at a standard format that makes it much more jump off the page-ish, if you will. And that's the first offer that I would like to make.
I love it. I love it. And can I tell you guys who's listening and watching, your resume, which is very sad to say, sometimes is the only shot that you have of getting in front of the person that is going to make that hiring. So your resume needs to look like $1 million before it is sent. And I could not recommend this more and taking Woody up on this, because this offer is incredibly generous. There are so many people, I see resumes all the time that just make me cringe. And you have to think that you have one shot to make a great first impression, and it starts with your resume.
Amen to that. I will tell you, Sharon, that is spot on. That resume needs to scream I mean, people's attention spans, as you know, are like 3 seconds. So we've got that resume has to have numbers that pop out of it that say, this is a rock star, pay attention. And that's really, really what we do. And we'll even take folks that don't necessarily feel that, you know, highly of themselves. I mean, we'll work with folks that are in, you know, assistant manager positions. We don't look down on folks because they're not in a higher position. We're going to help them.
Right.
It doesn't matter to us. We just want to help people, and there's no charge here. So I just want to, you know, that offer is there. And if you reach out to me directly or through Sharon, I can talk to you about a special that I'm allowed to run in my marketplace. Or if I've been referred or contacted by you, but I can't televise it, if you will, or put it on.
That's totally fine.
The internet.
You just have to mention that you saw it or you heard it on the Dr. Whisperer show, and Woody will hook you up. I'm quite sure.
Absolutely.
Man of his word.
Absolutely.
So I have dedicated a lot of time in the month of October, Woody, to discussing mental health. But October is also a very important month to honor something that's very near and dear to my heart and yours. So Woody is wearing, of course, his pink blazer in honor of somebody very special to him. So tell everybody what your pink blazer represents besides your fantastic sense and fashion.
Now that's a kicker. That cracks me up. I have to give my fashion design consultant all the credit here. And in this case, it was you that told me to go get this jacket. So you were doing that job for me, but actually I wanted it anyway. I brought it up to my wife and she was like, would you wear it? And I said, yeah, it's awareness. It's breast cancer awareness. And that's why I'm wearing this jacket in honor of one of my heroines. And I mean that with an E at the end of it. So if anybody's listening to this, don't get that confused with another kind of heroine. I'm talking about a hero.
Right.
And this is my wife.
Yeah.
And she's in her 5th year, cancer-free.
Woo-hoo.
We got it early enough that we were able to eradicate it. This woman is a fighter. She went through intense chemotherapy, and what they do is they almost bring you to the brink of death before they stop. And then she went through the radiation therapy, and she came out, and she's just, well, I still fall in love with her every single day. It's a dog day for me, and plus she's my hero. And now, since you and I know each other better, I can't help but say I'm also wearing this in honor of your mother.
Yeah.
And it's out there who has suffered through breast cancer. The husbands suffer as much as, not as much, but the husbands suffer right along with their wives of them. And it's a terrible thing to go through. So my heart goes out to those who are helping those with breast cancer, and my prayers go out to those who have it.
Yeah, I know, Woody, you're so thoughtful to talk about that today on the show, because my mom is a survivor, and it's been 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom was diagnosed when I was getting married. So it was a tough time. And I love that you said that about the husbands, because I know that my dad went through a lot, and the whole family goes through it, right? It's not just one person that's affected, but thank goodness your wife is doing well today. And we do wish that everybody that is touched by breast cancer, we are pulling for you and praying for you. In October and every month is a great time to honor.
Right.
Right?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
In my prayers every day.
I am going to reiterate that whole thing that we mentioned before, that everybody has the attention span, particularly in this day and age, of about a flea. So we're going to wrap it up for everybody. We have all of the information on how to contact Woody at Patrice and Associates, but I couldn't recommend you guys more. I'm telling as many people as possible, because I believe that hiring is the most important thing a business owner has to take heed with. I really think that if you're not spending time on having the right people doing the hiring, you could really be in for a terrible future in business. And that's not meant to scare you. That's just a reality. Whoever you have on your team is the representation of your brand. So Woody, thank you for being here today.
It's my honor, and I'm humbled by your commentary. Thank you so much, Sharon.
Thank you, Woody. You're the bomb.com. Bye.
God bless.
So don't forget, if you mention that you have seen the show or listened to the podcast, Thai Technology, 3 months for free.